Hi, in this tutorial we are going to explain how to set up your OXI One with a MIDI device like the Elektron Syntakt. We are going to configure a few tracks to create drum patterns and explore some of the new features of the new 3.0 firmware. The OXI One is configured in USB host no power. With this adapter we are powering the OXI One from an external supply. At the same time we have the Elektron Syntakt connected as a USB MIDI device. In the OXI One there are 4 sequencers that can be configured in any of the 6 modes now available. Let's start with a multitrack mode in the sequencer 4. The multitrack sequencer has 8 tracks. To trigger different sounds in the Syntakt, we need to assign the right MIDI channel to each of them. Pressing the sequencer button and any pad in the grid will toggle the track settings menu. Also notice how the selected track is indicated with 2 yellowish pads. Now let's add some kicks. A percussion in track 2. Remember we have to configure the MIDI channel, which is in this case is the channel 10. So this percussion is less repetitive. We are going to set length of this track of 38 steps. We have different ways to do this, but in this case we are pressing End button and turning the second encoder. Now let's play some hats, which is in the channel 3. We are going to make a pattern of, let's say, 5 steps, another uneven loop. We can manually adjust the velocity of each step, or we can let the random perform do it for us, adding some velocity randomization. It can be adjusted per track, and it can also be globally enabled or disabled per track. The modulation can be unipolar or bipolar. It doesn't limit to the velocity, it can also be applied to the gate, to the trigger, to the ratchet. We have improved the way to adjust the tempo. It depends now on how fast you turn the knob, allowing you to reach faster the desired value. Let's leave it at 110 BPM. In track 4, let's go to add a clap. It is in the MIDI channel 4 of the Syntakt. Straight 4 to the floor pattern, but we are going to decorate it with a few extra steps, which are going to have a different trigger condition. This way, these 2 steps are not going to be triggered always, but following trigger condition we have just set. To get into the trigger condition screen, you have to press Shift and Step, or you can do it using the sub-step menu. In the track 5 we are going to add another percussion, but instead of manually programming the triggers, we are going to let the Euclidean generator do it for us. To get into the Euclidean generator you have to press Shift and the random button. The parameters of the Euclidean generator of every track can be modulated with different sources like the LFOs, the modulation lanes, and the external CD input. In the percussion there is an automation going on the Syntakt. The Syntakt is synchronized to the OXI One with the USB. Let's add an open hat in the track 6. The open hat is in the MIDI channel 12. We are going to randomize the gate length of the open hat so it feels more natural. I'm going to add another step to the open hat track and set its trigger probability to a lower value so it doesn't sound all the time. Last thing I'm going to do is to increase the swing of the overall pattern. In the new firmware, swing can go from 10 to 90%. Now I'm going to save the pattern in the first slot. In 3.0 we have different options to launch and sync our patterns when using the arranger or when manually loading clips. You can do so by going to the arranger layout, press the arranger button and press any of the orange pads to open the launch settings menu. First two options are the master sequencer selection and the global launch quantization that affect the arranger. The third option is the load quantization setting. You can select when the new pattern has to be loaded instantly or quantized according to any time measure. Let's go into set it to 4 bars and see what happens. Let's try now to disable the load quantization. For this, I'm going to make some changes on the pattern and set it into different slots. Let's save it. And now disable the load quantization. And now we can jump between patterns instantly.